As its name suggests, the country of Ecuador is right on the equator, and 60% of the population is urbanized. And my case study today is coming from the city of Quito, which has some 2 million people in it, and it is the capital of Ecuador. There was a small group of Seventh-day Adventist young people meeting each week in the home of one of their friends, Carolina. They were having good fellowship, good Bible study, but they had the feeling that they wanted to do something more. Carolina says, we wanted to do more than just meet together and grow from each other's experiences. So we decided to plant a church in an unentered part of our city. Now they didn't realize it, but they were actually participating in one of the key objectives of the I Will Go plan. Objective number 2, to strengthen and diversify Adventist outreach in large cities. But more specifically, they were participating in KPI 2.3, demonstrable increase in total members and congregations in all urban areas of 1 million people or more. So what did they do? Well, they started knocking on doors. We knocked on people's doors and asked whether they wanted to study the Bible with us. Sounds like a good plan, right? Well, they assessed it, and this is what they found out. It was a bad idea, says Carolina. They said, no, we don't even know you. Who are you? What do you want? So the group had to reassess. They wanted to plant a church, but how do you start? What do you do? So they got together and they decided we will do a survey to determine what the people's needs are. And this is what they found out. We discovered, says Maria, that many of them were experiencing health problems. So with that knowledge, they had actually participated in the fundamental principle of Christ's method of ministry, which is, if we're going to even think about meeting people's needs, we have to understand what they are. They had suddenly realized that you needed to mingle and you needed to listen. So on the basis of that, they came together, they prayed, they thought about it, and it was actually Carolina's mother who came up with a good idea, and they loved it. Every Wednesday, this young group would come together and they would go jogging. And Carolina's mother said, why don't you hold a fun run, an event here in Quito, invite people, charge them a small admission fee. They thought it was a terrific idea, and that's what they did. And on the day, 950 people signed up. And because of that, they were able to earn sufficient money to hold a health fair with medical evaluations and lab work. And they also had enough money to be able to rent a small facility where they could meet together in the church plant. Nearby the church was a small bakery headed up by Noemi and Miguel. And during the week, church members would sometimes stop by to purchase something and started talking with Noemi. And Noemi started asking about the church. And they invited her to come on Sabbath to study the Bible, and she accepted the invitation. She loved it so much that she kept coming every Sabbath. She started praying for her husband, Miguel, because he showed absolutely no interest. But then one day on her birthday, he said, as a birthday present, I will go to your church, but just once. Well, he came, and this was his reaction. My first impression was that I didn't know anybody, but everybody knew me. I felt an immense love. And now you will find every week a small group Bible study meeting in their home. Noemi says our goal as a family is to share God's word so others can know Him too. Some 10 people have already been baptized from the community because this group of young people had a vision. They weren't content with I will be, they wanted to say I will go. Maria says I can see a difference in many of the people's lives. Before they used to live without purpose, without knowing what's going to happen tomorrow. Now they have the hope that Jesus is coming again, and they're sharing that.